Marketing is about knowing what product to make, how do we price it, and where do we sell it, as much as, how do we get it, how do you make it heard, right? If you don't have the right product, again, all we are doing is a look-alike product, very much like anybody else, it's going to be very, very difficult, independent of the amount of money that you actually pump in, to actually get it sold beyond a point. So it is extremely critical to understand what is the product, how do we price it. So when we started the company, Amagi Media, it's actually a television advertising company, right? And we'll talk about it. So we didn't have any competition. It was a breakthrough product. We didn't have competition, so we had no way of knowing how to price it. So pricing was one of the key challenges. So first we started looking at saying, oh, this is my cost of manufacturing the product. This is the cost of providing it. So let me take the cost and add a margin and price it. Customers were not looking at it that way at all. Customers were saying, okay, forget you don't have competition in your category, but I have alternatives. I have substitutes. I may not necessarily take your product, but I have something similar from somebody else. How much does it cost? Oh, if it costs less, I will take that. So customers are looking at price from what they have, what options do they have, rather than how much it costs for you to manufacture. So marketing is an integration of all these four components. The product, are you getting the right product? Are we pricing it right? Are we selling it in the right place? Again, this is one of the key problems that we have had as a company as well, right? As a small business, you don't have the wherewithal to go and market it, to go and distribute it in every single place across India. India is a large country, 1.2 billion people. So you just don't have the wherewithal to go and distribute it everywhere. So you'll have to pick and choose the market. The first thing that we learned was, don't try to act as a big business. Just because you see, your bigger competitor, being present in larger places, a lot more places, trying to do the same, trying to copy that, actually hit us a lot more, right? We decided that we'll actually take one market, become large enough there, then expand to the next one, and so on and so forth, rather than trying to, weaken it by actually distributing in multiple places. So knowing the right product, pricing, promotion mix is extremely, extremely critical. And as I said, marketing is not outshouting everybody. Marketing is not just communicating, it's not a one-way street, especially with the social media coming in, right? So it's not a one-way street. So by just being there, trying to advertise and trying to promote is not going to get your product sold. The first and most fundamental part to be able to do this is to be able to segment the market. I understand, where is it that I want to play? So make choices. Decide that I will give up certain geographies. I want to be able to focus on 1 or 2 or 3 geographies only, so that I make the most out of my money. And I will focus on specific demographics. I will decide who my customer is, and I will try to focus only on that. Decide to forego other customers. The biggest mistake that we made as a company initially was, oh, everybody is a customer. Every business is potentially a customer. Of course, everyone is, but will you be able to reach 3 crore businesses? No. Do you have money to reach them? No. So you'll have to pick and choose, okay, this is my customer profile. This is the place where I want to reach them. And hence, I'm able to spend my money much, much better in picking and choosing the specific regions and the specific customer profile, and deciding the media based on that, right? A lot of you might have heard this, right? Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. And the problem is, I don't know which half. Familiar? Right? This is the problem that we have. Guess who said it and when? Lord Liverham is the founder of Unilever back in 1925, right? 100 years, we still are with the same problem, right? So advertising, by its very definition, especially mass media advertising, there's a huge amount of leakage and wastage, right? You want to reach certain people, you end up reaching a lot more people than you would want, costing you a lot of money. But, you can't afford not to. That's been the problem. So if you look at, again, going back, right? If you look at the traditional mass media, if you look at this pyramid, right? You have TV, print, radio, outdoor, which is the traditional mass media, which are the least targeted, per se. Out of them, some are more targeted, some are less. And then you have the online, the search ads, the display, the Facebook ads, which are a lot more targeted, where you can actually choose specific regions, you can choose specific demographics. And then you have the most targeted, which are like these events, exhibitions, and conference, where you are one-to-one. You know exactly the set of audience that are there. But what's the negative? What's the downside? In an event or an exhibition or a conference, you have very few people. You'll probably reach about 100, 150 people. Well, it's very targeted, but the reach is very, very limited. Same thing with online. I mean, what a single television channel can give you, probably the entire online audience is 10% of that. Television reaches about 700 million people today. Online reaches, one-tenth of that. So it's a trade-off between, how many people do I want to reach out of my customers and how much of wastage do I want to live with, right? And of course, there is a plethora of choices in every one of these. So look at mass media, man. There are about 700 odd media options for me. I mean, do I do Economic Times, Times of India, Dainik Bhaskar? I mean, do I do NDTV? Do I do Avaz? Do I do Z Business? And what options? I mean, each one of these ranging from, thousands of rupees to lakhs of rupees. Tons of options. And add on to it the regional mix, right? And then radio, and then outdoor. Online again, tons and tons of options, right? I know how many of you are aware of the Pepsi Refresh project. This is a project that Pepsi launched with huge fanfare 2 years back, right? In 2000, okay, actually I think 3 years back, 2009. They publicly announced that they're moving 1/3 of their entire advertising budget online to digital. Massive project. This whole Pepsi Refresh was idea that people would come in and actually talk about projects that they can make a contribution to, things that they can change in their community. So they asked people to vote, people to come on Facebook, people to talk about it, people to tweet about it, and they gave away grants, about $1.3 million for each one of the good projects selected. They spent millions of dollars. After a year, guess what happened? For the first time ever in the history of Pepsi, they moved to number 3 position from number 2. Online presence is absolutely important and a lot of it can be free. PR, great tool, absolutely free. You don't need to have a PR firm to actually have good PR. I mean, we have had, as I said, we have been covered by Forbes, we have been covered by ET Now, ET Now did a program on us, we have been covered by Business Today, Business Insider, Business World, Economic Times, Times of India, Mint, name it. Articles, full page articles, and none of it actually costed money. Right? So make time to actually, again, LinkedIn is a great tool for you to build relationship with the journalists, find out, where the journalists are, send out a mail. Journalists are looking for content. They are desperate for content as much as you are desperate for PR. So if you're able to if you have an interesting product, a product that tells a story, they would love to lap it up. So if you had journalists chasing us, so all you need is, require time, energy, consistency. That's the most important part in the whole stuff. So, you have the battle for the Indian consumer, ready to fight with that, and we hope we'll be an arsenal in your toolbox. Thank you.